Hi friends, I am here to tell you about my birth story. If you saw my last video, you saw that I was at the hospital, and I would just cut to the chase and tell you, first of all, we're all okay, I'm okay, obviously, baby's okay, but let me start from the beginning on what happened. So on that day, it was Monday, last week Monday, 5/18/15, I had a very busy day planned. I've been open about the fact that we're moving and my house isn't ready, the old house wasn't ready, everything was a mess, and I was about to give birth and I'm still trying to buy things and organize the house and buy materials for my husband to complete the construction. So it's a very busy day planned. But I had this appointment at 10:30 in the morning and all my to-do list to do after that. So I go to my appointment and something happened during that appointment that caught her eye, which I had told all the doctors before. So I don't know if you recall, but I was seeing another doctor for the majority of my pregnancy, and then I changed. And right halfway through the 6th month, I switched to this new clinic at Castle Medical Center, Poly Women's Health, and there are 5 women, 4 of which do the labor part. All of them do the appointments, 4 do the labor part, and 1 is a midwife. But she was only, the midwife, Tina, was on maternity leave at the time, so I had only seen her 1 time. That was my 2nd time seeing her. And so as she's listening to the baby's heartbeat, my belly totally shifted to one side, like it happens all the time. So she asked, does this happen a lot? I said, yeah, that happens all the time. I have tons of videos and tons of pictures of my belly being totally warped, and the difference sometimes would be this much from one side to the other. And she's like, but I told her too, I told every single doctor this, because this doesn't feel like it should be this way. But every doctor has told me that it's okay, that it's normal, and that baby just chose a side, pretty much. So I'm like, alright, this doesn't sit well with me, but I don't know what else to do. I looked it up online, I couldn't find anything about it, so I went on. It's like, yeah, that doesn't sound right. Let's do another exam. So we go to the ultrasound room, and she tries to measure she picks 4 sides of liquid, and she measures that, and those numbers need to add up to at least 8, maximum of 20. Mine was at 4, so it was really low. So she said, well, this is not good. For some reason there's no liquid on one side of the belly, which is the side that the baby didn't want to be in, obviously. And we should get you induced right now. Is there somebody that can bring your bags over? And so I was like, whoa, I was not ready for this. It was kind of a shock, but I was like, it is what it is. Let's get the baby out. Let's do this. So the clinic is at the hospital. It's at the hospital, and there's a birthing center right next to it. So I went to check in at the birthing center, and I called my husband, I called my mom, and I told them, this is what's happening. Can you guys come over and bring the bags? So my husband got dropped off. I didn't want to have 2 cars since I drove there. Luckily I had the car with the car seat. So he just got dropped off, brought the bags, stayed overnight with me, and so I checked in around noon, and it took a while for them to get everything prepared, but then the plan was to get started with Cervidil, because I was only 2 centimeters at a time, and I forget exactly how effaced it was, but it wasn't much. It was still, the cervix was still all there. So it was going to be a long road, So she told me that, just keep in mind that this might take up to 72 hours. I'm like, alright. Fun, right? Everything I had dreamed of. 72 hours in freaking labor. Anyway, so luckily I had made no plans, right? So I told you guys this. I was going with the flow, so I'm very glad I wasn't attached to any idea of what, how this whole thing should go. My husband got there, kept me company until about 5 o'clock, 5:30, when the nurse came in and she put the Cervidil in. Cervidil is a drug that's put right next to your cervix, and it slowly releases prostaglandins, which is supposed to help you dilate and thin out and soften the cervix. But they only check it 12 hours later. So that night, and then I started having cramps. it didn't really feel like a contraction, although I would feel like it would feel stronger at times, and they're monitoring me and the baby the whole time from that moment on. I'm just sitting and looking at the monitor, and I can hear his heart beating the whole time, and he was very stable, and I could see the contractions coming. Although it doesn't feel like a contraction. I mean, my belly will feel tight, much like a Braxton Hicks, but the pain wasn't excruciating. It was like a menstrual cramp. So I'm like, okay, 12 hours later, like 6 in the morning of the next day, they come back to check it. No progress. Same thing. The only thing that they said was that the cervix had changed position. Like it had come forward. I forget what it's called. They came forward a little, which is a good thing. So I'm like, okay, so they gave me some time to go shower and, you know, use the bathroom. And then they came back at 8 o'clock and they put another one in, or 7:30 or something, and they put another one in. So 12 more hours. And those were a little more, those contractions I could feel a little more. But it's still totally manageable. It didn't even like knock the wind out of me or anything. I was going on with, I could have like done my tasks, you know, pretty much. But you have to kind of be laying down for the first hour, and then you can move around. But there's nothing to do. I'm not even at the labor room at this point, because technically I'm not in active labor. So I'm in this tiny little observation room with my husband, my mom, and my sister. And we're all just waiting, and because they don't want to miss it. I mean, nobody did. So 12 hours go by, 8 o'clock at night, they check me again. No progress. I'm at the same position I was before. So one thing that might have changed, because I don't remember what it was before, but by 24 hours later, I was 60% effaced, but still at 2 centimeters. So they say, okay, it's time for Pitocin, because I don't know if they could do another Cervidil or not, but they felt it was time for Pitocin. So they do it very, they don't just give you like, they start very little at 2. And then every so often, I forget how long, they increase the dosage. So, I'm not gonna lie, that part sucks. It took a few minutes for them to really kick in. And I couldn't take the epidural, they said, until I was 5 centimeters along. So I had to go from 2 to 5 with nothing. And I was managing okay in the beginning, but towards the last few hours, they were no good. I mean, they were good because I was still getting closer to labor, but it does hurt. I'm not gonna lie, but it's manageable. Do not let that, you know, I would do it all over again in a heartbeat. It's amazing. And then, oh my god! But the thing is, I was just so tired because I spent the whole day with the Cervidil. And I didn't sleep at all because I knew there was a possibility that I was going to do another Cervidil and I'll be able to sleep. You can kind of see, like I slept the first night, the second night with the Pitocin I didn't sleep at all. They started giving me the Pitocin, it was at 9 p.m. And I maybe slept for a couple of hours because then the pain was just too much to sleep through. Next morning at like 5 o'clock, I was 5 centimeters finally. But I hadn't slept at all. I was exhausted. I couldn't. It's weird. You kind of feel like you want to like crawl. I don't know. You want to like crawl out. Like I was on my tippy toes and like holding things in a weird way. And my husband was so nice. He was so amazing. He was holding my hand and hugging me through every contraction and kissing me and just telling me I was doing good. I've seen those movies and those scenes where the wives are flipping out at the husbands. That was not us. It was beautiful. I really, really enjoyed the experience, even though I was in pain. So 5 o'clock comes in. They give you the epidural, which honestly you don't feel at all. I mean, I guess my guy maybe was just very good, but this hurt more. Doing the IV hurt a lot more than doing the epidural. So I fell asleep talking to the doctor. I was that tired. I didn't even finish a sentence. I fell asleep halfway through it. That happened a couple times. So, and then I wake up like maybe 10 o'clock or so, and it just feels like wonderful. You don't feel any pain. You can see the contractions come and go. You feel nothing. But I couldn't move my legs, so I guess the guy was really good, they were saying, because I could totally move my legs. I feel like I could have stood up if I wanted to. But I didn't, because it's dangerous, so don't try it. And then when it was about 11 o'clock, she came in and she said I was 9 centimeters, so I should be able to start pushing soon. 12 o'clock, we started pushing. It was just me, the nurse, my husband, my mom, and my sister. And the funny thing is, my sister was doing kind of like a live transmission to all my cousins in Brazil. We had this like texting group message thing going on, where she was sending like pictures and videos of the whole thing happening to them. Because I don't know if I've ever talked about this before, but labor in Brazil is pretty, like natural labor is pretty much non-existent. Like 90% of the population will have like a C-section. The doctors, for some reason, they're afraid of it. They really shy away from it. Even if you want to, like I have a few cousins that really wanted to do the natural labor, and they found doctors that said they were willing to do the natural labor, but when push comes to shove, they find an excuse as to why that shouldn't happen, and everybody ends up having a C-section. Anyway, so they were all very interested to know how everything was happening, and you know, so she's like doing videos and sending to them little periods of time. But as I started pushing at noon, I couldn't feel anything, and I couldn't push either, so she had to call the anesthesiologist back, and he turned it down a little bit so I could feel the push. I still couldn't feel any pain. You just feel the pressure, but you don't feel any pain. So that was like a break of like an hour and a half almost. I started pushing again at 1:25, and at 2:26 he was born. It really isn't that bad. You don't feel anything but the pressure, and she's constantly doing the perineal massage. I didn't tear because she was putting oil and doing the massage. It was really beautiful. He came out, when his head was out, he already opened his eyes, and it was just wonderful. I don't even know how to explain it. I want to do this again as soon as possible. It was beautiful, and he's healthy. He's big. He was 6 pounds and 9 ounces and 21 inches long. I'll show you a little piece of the video. So here, just the delivery part. Here it is.
Maybe you just don't even think about it. You just do it. Yep. Yeah, here it comes. There you go. Okay.
That's the way. That's the way.
Go. Push past that. There you go. Slow and steady. That's it. Just like that.
That's it. Good job.
Alright. Slow it down just a little bit, okay? Because I don't want you to tear. No power pushes this time. Just small push. Small little push. Don't want you to tear. Don't want you to tear. That's the way. That's the way. Give just a little push more. Just a tiny push. Push. Stop. Stop. Push.
Heads out.
Ai, saiu a cabeça! Ai, Daniela, saiu!
Oh, we got Mac?
A cabeça dele inteira tá fora.
We did it before.
Ai, que emoção.
Okay.
He's opening his eyes.
Yeah.
Ready?
No, you don't need to push. He's coming.
That's it.
Okay, yeah, push. I'm sorry.
Daddy wants to.
Acabou! Acabou, saiu! Oh, meu Deus!
It's got a short cord, so you can't take him up there yet, okay? It's little cord.
Good job.
You want to announce what it is, Daddy? You know already, but...
Good job. Congratulations.
Sweethearts!
Yeah.
Take that.
Oops. Here.
Yeah.
That's okay. Put your foot down. That's it. We'll clean your foot up, I promise. So you see, it wasn't that bad. I mean, it was an hour, and then you have long rest periods in between contractions. But then after, it kind of got shitty because the placenta didn't want to come out. I guess they take about 5 minutes on average to come out, and mine just wouldn't come out. So even though I was pushing and everything, it just wouldn't come out. So she had to call, and she was kind of spooked by it. She called the OBGYN she came down and she had to manually remove the placenta. That hurt. Even though I had the epidural, that hurt more than having the baby, than pushing the baby out. Maybe the epidural was wearing down, I don't know, but it was just very uncomfortable, but it wasn't like crying kind of pain. But as they're taking it out, and everybody seemed very, I felt okay, but everyone seemed very spooked by what was going down, and they wanted to take me to the operating room because I was losing a lot of blood, and the placenta was coming out in pieces, and I guess there were calcified parts, which explains why, you know, the amniotic fluid level thing. And I wanted to bring the placenta home and plant it, but that didn't happen because it was either that or we take it to pathology to find out what happened. So I chose that, and I haven't heard from them yet. But other than that, so everything, they ended up fixing it. They took it all out, and they put like some medication inside the uterus to heal it. And I was exhausted. I vaguely remember this part. Maybe because of the blood loss, I don't remember everything. My husband knows more details about this part than I do. But he says that I fell asleep like while speaking with the doctor. I just passed out. So, and then I was like, oh, because as soon as the baby comes out, he also had a short umbilical cord. So he could only come as far as my belly at first. And then they waited to cut the cord. They gave him to me. We did the golden hour thing, which really was around like the golden 5 hours. I kept him on me the whole time. No, not 5 hours, less hours, because I was so tired that I had to like pass out. So I gave him to my husband. I told him to take your shirt off and here, hold the baby, skin to skin. I really want him to do that too. And I just slept for a couple of hours. I was exhausted. Then when I woke up, they gave me the baby again. I put him in my chest, we did the breastfeeding. Family started coming in, and everything was okay. But they told me not to walk by myself because I lost a lot of blood, and I felt okay, you know, after that. I did walk. The first time they did help me like go to the bathroom. The nurses just walked me. But then after, I kept calling them to come because I had to pee, and they were taking a while, so I went by myself, and it was totally okay. So they let me do this by myself afterwards. But because of the blood loss, I ended up staying at the hospital an extra day. So I checked in on Monday, and I only checked out on Friday. And I must say, though, I went to Castle Medical Center, and it was an amazing experience. I want to have all my kids there. They were great. All the nurses, the staff, the facility, beautiful view, very clean, nice rooms. The nurses were amazing. I have nothing negative to say about the place, nothing. Actually, let me see, I had a list of things that I wanted to talk about. Let's see if I missed anything. Oh, one thing that I'm really glad I did was make a playlist. So if you're going into labor soon, I would totally advise you to make one. The way I made mine, because my iPod got stolen, I made a playlist on YouTube on my computer, and then I just brought the computer and let it play over and over again. It's about 100 songs, so it's a long time. So that was really good. And another thing is that I wanted to point out, you know, everyone's making those, oh, my hospital bag kind of videos. I didn't want to bring a lot of stuff. I was very minimalistic. I brought a couple outfits for the baby because I didn't know how big it was going to be. So I brought maybe like 3 different ones. I didn't know what the weather was going to be like either, so some with, you know, all the way to the feet, some without the legs, whatever, you know, different ones. I brought that. I brought, and then for me, I didn't even bring a change of clothes, but that was kind of unexpected because my bag wasn't finished. But I brought a robe, like a soft, like a towel, you know, those Victoria's Secrets robes. And very important because the gown is open in the back and you're not wearing anything. And it's cold, so that kept me warm for a lot of the time. That was my most important thing, I think, that I brought. And I bought like a little kit with shampoo and conditioner and toothpaste, toothbrush, deodorant, like stuff like that. Just those to-go things, you know, the travel size. And it's perfect for the hospital, honestly, because you use it, you just throw it away. They gave you everything that you need. Even stuff that I wasn't even gonna bring to the hospital. I ended up like the pump accessories that I had already bought for my pump. They give them to you. So don't worry about bringing too much stuff. I brought socks. They had socks. You know, it's really not that bad. Let me see what else. Yeah, that was it. Oh, you know what else happened? As I'm pushing, during the contractions, every now and then his heartbeat will would drop, and that's no good. So they would like put you, instead of like rushing you to get like a C-section, because at the time his head was already in the birth canal. There's no going back, I don't think. So they would put me on the side. I didn't know they could do this. They would just put me on the side and shake me back and forth and give me oxygen. And and give me oxygen and wait until the heartbeat climbed back up, and it was all good. It would never go to 0. It would maybe go to like 80 when the normal is like 140. So yeah, that's it. It was really, really good. Don't be afraid of natural labor. It's really not that bad. I would hope everyone would consider natural labor over a C-section. I know it sounds easy to go to the hospital and just, you know, not have to deal with it and just like lay there and have the doctor cut it out for you, but you're missing out on so much emotion, and it's just such a beautiful moment. I felt when I saw him for a moment, I don't know if you can tell in the video, but I felt like this wasn't real. Like I kept looking around, almost like somebody pinched me, like what's going on? I don't even know how to describe it. It did not feel real. There was this tiny little baby on my belly, and he was mine. He's mine forever, and he's so adorable. So adorable. I'll show you in the next video. I'm gonna shoot a 1-week postpartum video soon. So he's sleeping right now. Actually, I can just show you real quick. You can check him out sleeping. Oh, let me do my... Yeah. There's my little angel. And that's it. Hope you do have a natural labor, and let me know how it went. Hope you have a pleasant experience too. Bye. Aloha.